Rebekah Roth here again. And I just want to talk to you about something that we were lied to about. Imagine that. Our government said we had no idea that planes would be used or there would be a threat of hijacking around September 11th. No idea at all. So I want to explain to you, and then I'm going to go over to my computer and I'm going to read to you. Because I was an international purser coming back to the United States on September 10th. If the United States government had a heads up, which I'm going to prove they did, the day before 9/11, they would have let us know. An FAA bulletin would have been put out, and I would have been handed it. And if I hadn't been handed it, my captain would have been handed it, and he would have shared it with me, and I would have shared it with my crew. So when I read to you the presidential briefing that came out almost 5 weeks before 9/11, you're going to see what just really shook me to see. Imagine I could have been there. And that is a driving force for me to get the truth out to you. So when I read this next segment to you, I'll take you for a ride in my airplane, and you guys can see the clouds and be thinking about the presidential briefing dated August 6, 2001, where Condoleezza Rice lied about it, George W. Bush lied about it, and everyone else. And you can judge for yourself. If you think that airline crews should have been given a bulletin by the FAA to warn us, but wait a minute, why weren't we? If they knew this, what I'm about to read to you, can you tell me why they wouldn't have shared this with us? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we would have stopped that intelligence operation that was a fake hijacking right there at the front door. So buckle up. I'm going to take you over to my computer now.
This is the presidential briefing for President George W. Bush, dated August 6th, 2001. Across the top, it says, Bin Laden determined to strike in U.S. The top paragraph reads, clandestine foreign government and media reports indicate Bin Laden since 1997 has wanted to conduct terrorist attacks in the United States. Bin Laden implied in U.S. television interviews in 1997 and 1998 that his followers would follow the example of World Trade Center bomber Ramzi Youssef and bring the lightning to America, quote, quote, bring the lightning to America. After U.S. missile strikes on the base in Afghanistan in 1998, Bin Laden told followers that he wanted to retaliate in Washington, according to a redacted service. What this redacted is, highly likely that it is Israeli intelligence service. Okay, highly likely because I counted the spaces that are redacted. An Egyptian Islamic Jihad operative told an intelligence or an Egyptian FITS service at the same time that Bin Laden was planning to exploit the operative's access to the United States to mount a terrorist strike. The millennium plotting in Canada in 1999 may have been part of Bin Laden's first serious attempt to implement a terrorist strike in the United States. Convicted plotter Ahmed Rassem had told the FBI that he conceived the idea to attack Los Angeles International Airport himself, but that Bin Laden's Lieutenant Abu Zubaydah encouraged him and helped facilitate the operation. Rassam also said that in 1998, Abu Zubaydah was planning his own U.S. attack. Rassam says Bin Laden was aware of the Los Angeles operation. Although Bin Laden was not succeeded, has not succeeded, his attacks against the United States embassies in Kenya and Tanzania in 1998 demonstrate that he prepares operations years in advance and is not deterred by setbacks. Bin Laden associates surveilled our embassies in Nairobi and Dar es Salaam as early as 1993, and some members of the Nairobi cell planning the bombings were arrested and deported in 1997. Al-Qaeda members, including some who are U.S. citizens, have resided in or traveled to the United States for years, and the group apparently maintains a support structure that could aid attacks. 2 Al-Qaeda members found guilty in the conspiracy to bomb our embassies in East Africa were U.S. citizens, and a senior Egyptian Islamic Jihad, EIJ, member also lived in California. A clandestine source said in 1998 that bin Laden's cell in New York was recruiting Muslim American youth and for attacks. The final paragraph reads, "We have not been able to corroborate some of the more sensational threat reporting, such as that from a redacted service." Redacted has just enough characters to read Israeli intelligence, 19 characters. Service in 1998 saying that bin Laden wanted to hijack a U.S. aircraft to gain the release of the blind sheikh, Omar al-Rahman, and other U.S.-held extremists. This is the end of the presidential daily briefing given the 6th of August, 2001. So you can see clearly when George Bush and Condoleezza Rice, etc., all came out and said they had no warning of a hijacking. They certainly had no dream that planes could be used as weapons. That's a lie, too. But I want to also tell you that this was classified until the 10th of April, 2004. Then it was finally released. They've lied about this presidential briefing for years, but I happen to be holding it right now in my hand to be reading it to you. Now, what's interesting to me, and if you're listening to all the series in my YouTube channel, the World Trade Center bomber that they refer to here was an Egyptian intelligence guy who was working directly for and with the supervision of FBI supervision to build the bomb that was used. So if you go back to, I don't know the name of it, but there's a YouTube out there. You can find it. It's there. It's one of my 9/11 YouTubes that connects the FBI bombing of the World Trade Center 1993 to this Egyptian character who also had a heads up on the USS Cole bombing. And also the other person, I will have a video up on this guy, but you can look him up. His name was Ali Mohammed, and he was the guy who took the photographs in 1993 they refer to here in this presidential daily briefing. And Ali Mohammed has a very interesting end story, because even though some people would like you to think that he had infiltrated on behalf of Al-Qaeda, he was actually working for the CIA and the FBI. And one of the things he was doing was training terrorist attacks and training terrorists how to shoot. I don't know why he'd have to train people that already served for the CIA in Afghanistan against the Soviet Union, 1979 to 1988-ish. Why he would have to train combat qualified guys to shoot, but that's what he did. So anyway, it's interesting to me because I've gone so deep into this that they're actually referring to their own people, which kind of leads you to believe that, hey, Maybe 9/11 really was an intelligence operation, and we've been fooled.